Hello and good afternoon, everyone. It is 1 p.m. Wednesday, July 24th, and I call the Committee on Parks, Enterprise Services, and Culture and the Arts to order. I want to welcome Vice Chair Okimoto, Councilmember Cordero, and Councilmember Tupola. Pursuant to Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda in two ways: in person in the council chamber and remotely. In person and remote oral testimony will be allowed when each agenda item is taken up. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 1-minute presentation on each item. All persons who have registered to testify in person will be called upon first. When the timer goes off, please conclude your remarks promptly. Persons who have not registered will be given an opportunity to testify following registered testifiers. Once in-person testimony has concluded, I will proceed to remote testimony. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or telephone will then be called upon. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. For persons who are testifying by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, please listen for the prompt to unmute and then press *6. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. So friendly reminders and tips: video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you're watching the proceedings on Olelo, please mute your television and when you're called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires that all votes at remote meetings be conducted by roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, I will first call for objections, and if there are any, I will call a roll call vote. Written testimonies include the testifier's address, email address, and phone number will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of this meeting. All right, members, move on to item number 1, Resolution 24-177, accepting a gift of cash in the amount of $5,000 to the city from Friends of Hawaii Charities for maintenance and upkeep of Kahala Community Park. And here from the administration is Director Laura Thielen.
Good afternoon, council members. Laura Thielen on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation. We are very happy to receive this gift from Hawaii Charities and grateful for it. We will be using it for the upkeep of this park. In the past, we've used gifts along this size for things like installing ADA accessible bench or fixing the kiln for the Arts and Crafts program. So we're delighted at their generosity and very appreciative.
Thank you, Director. Members, any questions? Okay. I will now proceed with in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, look like you want to, okay, go ahead. Angela?
Thank you. Aloha City Council, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support. So it's very good that the resolution and also the receiver is aware of disabilities, and also because that office has to manage parks, right? And the health of all citizens can be managed by healthy activity at parks. So that's very good, yeah. And so I'm in strong support, thanks.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Okay, we'll now move on to remote testimony. Anybody online?
There is no one, Mr. Chair.
Okay, members, we are in discussion. Okay, the chair recommends that Resolution 24-177 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, moving on to item number 2, accepting the gift of Resolution 24-178, accepting the gift of cash in the amount of $4,000 to the city from WellCare for the production of the 2025 Senior Citizens Valentine Dance on February 11th at the Neil Blaisdell Center. And here from the Parks and Rec is Director Laura Thielen.
Good afternoon again, council members. Again, we appreciate the generosity of WellCare for the gift for the Senior Valentine's Dance, and we hope that you guys can all join us this February 11th and boogie down a little bit. This is a greatly beloved event for our kapuna across the island, and WellCare is many of our partners that are there that are also providing care information about care services for this age group. So they're a very wonderful partner.
Any questions for the director? Councilmember Tupolo.
Aloha, Director. Wait, so does DPR put on the Valentine's dance?
DPR puts on the Valentine's dance, and because the director has to do the opening dance along with the mayor,
Wow.
and I cannot dance, I did ask them last year if we could do line dancing instead. So we've kind of made the shift over to line dancing because of my inabilities. So please come join us.
Director, if these kids can TikTok, you can do a dance. I think you got this. You know, this whole time I thought it was HPD since they're always, you know, they're supporting. I mean, just thank you because so many people really love this event.
HPD, a lot of the people line up to dance with the chief.
Yes.
I don't get that kind of lineup.
Well, I'll try to attend this upcoming one, but thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, if you can, maybe do it when we're not in committee because I missed it 3 years in a row. And I love doing it. Yeah, it's nothing like twerking with like senior citizens. Okay, I will now proceed to in-person testimony in the, Councilmember Okimura, go for it.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, Director Thielen. I actually was able to attend between committees this past year, and I was really impressed with not just the energy that was felt, but I could see there was a bunch of department heads there or members along with HPD and the kapuna. Met some from my area specifically. So thank you for doing that. I had a question. So this amount is $4,000. What does that cover? How much how much does it take? What's the amount that it takes to actually put the dance on? Because it really was, I mean, the decorations were amazing and I loved all the energy, but I was just wondering what this $4,000 covers.
So a lot of what the park departments puts on for events is you're seeing like the creative work of a lot of our recreation program staff that have amazing talents. And so some of that comes from our regular supplies, so it may be replenishing supplies. I think we also provide some drink and things for the kapuna who are there, you know, water, juice, soda, things like that. So I'd have to ask them about, you know, the actual cost it takes to put on the dance. We will bus in people from the kapuna clubs around the island, and then we work with the other programs that serve kapuna to broadcast the dates because they'll also bring their members over to the event. So it's something that's really well-known and beloved by a lot of people.
But just to clarify, you said the 4,000 is is that the decorations and then like the water and little refreshments?
It would be to offset the costs of putting it on. I do not have the actual costs for you at this time, but we can look into that and get you an approximate figure, and then maybe just be a little more mindful as we go through it this year to kind of tally things up, because I think they're also making things back at their home park and then bringing them to the event with the clubs. So it's a little bit of a spread out operation that's then consolidated. So I don't know that we have a central expending source that's for the dance.
Yeah, that would be good to know. I think anything that we can do, I definitely see the value of this event. So I was just wondering, yeah, if you could give me an idea of what the cost is and what this is used for. And I thank you for doing the line dancing. I got to participate in some of that line dancing, and I'm like you, so luckily they let me through the doors. But I just want to thank Parks for putting it on, because it wasn't just, it was really well organized, really well decorated, and you could tell the partners that were participating in it had done a lot of work up front, and the community loves it. So thank you for doing that. Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Thank you. Hi, Director Thielen. My question is relating to this gift, if it's cyclical, if it happens, if we receive this gift every year, and if not, if there are other donors that do provide support for the dance.
So again, I'd have to get that information for you. I know we do have a lot of, like we host the Senior Craft Fair.
Yeah.
As well, and so I know that there will be a lot of other service providers that will have booths and bring in information at that. I don't know how much a lot of these organizations are contributing in addition to what they may bring as part of their showing at the event. But what we can do is try and quantify the contributions for the dance this year and maybe report back to you after the dance is POW.
Okay, thank you very much. And I was just also wondering, because for the senior craft fair, the different senior clubs do get to showcase not only their talent, but also they're selling their products, right? And so I was wondering if it's the same for the senior clubs, plus do they have any stake or do they provide support in any way for the dance?
So my understanding on the craft fair is that the senior clubs can bring their products there to sell, and the funding goes back in to support that particular senior club.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, but I will verify that.
Okay.
And then again, I would have to, because I'm not sure that we can go back and accurately quantify in past years for the dance, because it is such a dispersed effort. What we can try and do for this year's Valentine's dance is to try and put in a central place kind of what everybody's hooeying up for the dance, and then maybe report back for February's dance 2024. Kind of it's 2025.
Yes, 2025.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect. And one last thing is, I also haven't been able to participate since becoming elected at the same time with Councilmember Tolba, because we're stuck in the same committee, and I think it's my committee. Sorry. So hopefully we can get to go to the next one. Okay, thank you.
We'll now proceed with an in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, Angela, go ahead.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young on behalf of CARES, in strong favor of the resolution. So I've been to the craft fair the last 2 years in a row, and I'm available, and so are my children from our after-school class, to twerk or to do hip hop and pop or to do lion dance with the kapunas. So my kids can actually teach the seniors. So musical activity is creative expression, which provides a healthy way for people to release energy and to get active, and it enhances mental health behavior such as stress management and improving mood. So I'm excited for that event, and also excited for the Booth Park because they have a good senior program. Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be at the craft fair. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Any questions for the testifier? Okay, let's move on to a remote testimony.
There's no one logged on, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so there being no remote testimony, we will now, members, we are in discussion. Okay, Chair recommends the resolution 24-178 be reported out for adoption. Any discussions, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, members, moving on to item number 3, accepting the gift of cash in the amount of $8,223.98 to the city from Shinyoen, Hawaii, for the maintenance and upkeep of Ala Moana Regional Park. And here from the department is Director Laura Thielen.
So we have an embarrassment of riches, I think, at this committee meeting from the generosity of so many people. We're grateful. I don't know if you folks managed to go to the Lantern Festival this past year or in previous years. It was my first time. It's really a very, very well-run event, very meaningful, and the organization has been very supportive. They set up an opportunity for people that come to the park to make donations on behalf of the park, and that's why this dollar figure that you see here is such a unusually specific figure. Is its collection that they took for donations to the park during this past year's event, and we are grateful for that. Ala Moana Regional Park is beloved and loved to death at times, and so the additional support to help offset the wear and tear is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Director. Any questions for the Director? Okay, we'll move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, Angela, go ahead.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of ROAR, Rescue of Animal Rights, in strong favor. And so this Oh, wait, is this for the environmental stimuli? No, right?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the chamber that want to testify?
There's no one, Mr. Chair.
Okay. How about we'll proceed now with remote testimony.
No one's online.
Okay, no remote testimony. We'll move on to discussion, members. Discussion. All right. The chair recommends the resolution 24-179 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, members, moving on to item number 4, resolution 24-180, accepting the gift of cash in the amount of $4,000 to the city from Hawaii Medical Service Association to be used for production of the 2024 Mayor's Craft and County Fair on November 23rd, 2024 at the Neil Blaisdell Center. And here from the department is Director Laura Thielen.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of Department of Parks and Recreation, we're grateful for the generosity of HMSA. This is going to go to help the Mayor's Craft Fair, and they are also a wonderful partner that has information there for the kupuna and the general public that comes to the craft fair about the services for kupuna, which is very helpful.
Thank you, Director. Any questions for the Director? Okay, we'll move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay. All right. What about a remote testimony?
No one's logged on, Mr. Chair.
Okay, there being no remote testimony. Members, we are in discussion. Okay, the chair recommends the resolution 24-180 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Want to welcome Councilmember Asay to the chamber. Moving on to item number 5, resolution 24-181, accepting the gift of cash in the amount of $200 to the city from an anonymous donor for the repair of a broken slide in Kuli'o Neighborhood Park. And from the department, Laura Thielen.
Thank you, council members. On behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation, this is a little bit of an unusual gift. We have a broken slide at this playground. We are working on replacement for our broken playground equipment, and we're going through procurement and then working on the playgrounds around the island. But in this situation, an anonymous donor actually taped a note and cash to the broken slide, which our staff found and had not been taken by the public, which we look at as a very good sign of the behavior at that park. So we will use it on the replacement, and then we're going to try and post a sign at the park to just say thank you and mahalo for their patience as we work through the procurement and getting the parts on island, because these are ordered from mainland companies and are not readily available.
Any questions for the Director? Okay, we'll move on to our in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, looks like no one else is going to testify. Can proceed to remote testimony.
No one has logged on, Mr. Chair.
Okay, there are no remote registered speakers. So members, we are in discussion. Okay. The chair recommends that resolution 24-181 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, moving on to item number 6, resolution 24-188, accepting the gift of a variety of enrichment items to train, engage, and provide environmental stimuli to enhance the natural behaviors of animals at the Honolulu Zoo, valued at $17,063.63 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society for the Honolulu Zoo. And here from the administration is Tracy Kubota, Deputy Director of Enterprise Services.
Good afternoon, members. Tracy Kubota, Department of Enterprise Services, gladly in support of this resolution to accept the funds that the Zoo Society has generously offered to us. This basically goes to cover enrichment items. So a lot of the animals in the zoo do not just get fed like in a bowl every day in the same spot so that they just go and eat. They have enrichment and stimuli that they provide. So this funds actually go to like support puzzle feeders, things that are like boats and things that they can hang for animals to reach. to search for, to forage. So this is a really good environmental enrichment stimuli for the animals in support of what they need. So we appreciate the Zoo Society's support on this.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the? Okay, we'll move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, I see Angela. Go ahead, Angela.
Aloha. Angela Melody Young on behalf of ROAR, like a lion's roar, except it stands for Rescue of Animal Rights. Okay, and testifying on behalf of animal welfare. For environmental stimuli for the health of the creatures, the living creatures and the animals, and for their happiness. So they're gonna forage, so it mimics a real life setting, right? So that's what helps boost and enhance their environmental happiness, is that they feel like they're in the forest. And so just like seniors need creative expression, people need creative expression to take out their energy on, animals require healthy environmental stimuli. It will enhance physical and social activity. And as per the animal welfare laws from USDA, there are improved standards for Laboratory Animals Act, which is a law that sets the legislation to prohibit inhumane animal facilities and to reduce animal testing and inhumane practices, improves methodologies of experimentation, and minimizes pain and distress to animals, while improving the health of the animals. So although there is no legislation or law to stop people from causing environmental distress to animals and little creatures, there can be national legislation to set this policy so that we can have happy zoos.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions for the testifier? All right, we'll now proceed to remote testimony.
No one has logged on, Mr. Chair.
Okay, looks like I don't see anyone online. So members, we are in discussion. All right, the chair recommends that resolution 24-188 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, moving on to item number 7, resolution 24-189, accepting the gift of travel and related expenses valued at $3,500 to the city from the Honolulu Festival Foundation for the Director of the Department of Enterprise Services to attend the Honolulu Festival Foundation Goodwill Mission Tour to Fukuoka, Hiroshima, and Tokyo, Japan from July 24th to the 29th. Members, I do have a hand-carried CD1, OCS 2024-0712, amends the title of the resolution to read, accepting the gift of travel and related expenses valued at $3,500 to the city from the Honolulu Festival Foundation for the Director of Enterprise Services to attend the Honolulu Festival Foundation Goodwill Mission Tour to Fukuoka, Hiroshima, and Tokyo, Japan from July 24th to the 29th, 2024. In it, be resolved clause corrects the date of the reference letter to July 15, 2024, and identifies the letter as the Departmental Communication 547, 2024, and C makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments. Okay. Yeah. We have from the administration, Tracy Kubota, Deputy Director of Enterprise Services.
Thank you, Chair. Tracy Kubota, Department of Enterprise Services, in support of this resolution. Appreciate your entertaining this resol, although Director has actually left today for this trip, so this might be somewhat after the fact. The transmittal letter that we received was on July 15th, so it just got confirmed prior to this, and we had put this and submit this as soon as we've received so that it could be posted for your consideration. Again, this is for the Director to attend the Goodwill Mission, so appreciate your support of this as well.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Okay, we'll now proceed to in-person testimony in the council chamber.
There is no one, Mr. Chair.
Okay, anyone remote?
No one has logged on.
Okay, members, we are in discussion. All right. The chair recommends that resolution 24-189 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Oh, Okay. Let me take that back. The chair recommends that Resolution 24-189 be amended to a hand-carried CD1 identified as OCS 24-0712. Any discussions? Any objections? Any reservations? Okay, the resolution has been amended to a CD1. Okay, then the chair now recommends that Resolution 24-189 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, moving on to item number 8, naming the Waimanalo District Park multi-purpose building to the Grace Adviento multi-purpose building. And here from the administration is Director Laura Thielen.
Good afternoon, council members. Laura Thielen on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation. We would be honored to have the building renamed after Grantee Grace. I believe she was one of the people there at the Summer Fun program when our former deputy Kehaulani Pu'u was a Summer Fun participant in Waimanalo District Park. And she talks about the generosity of the spirit of the kupuna that were there. So we know that she's had a wonderful impact on generations of people growing up in that community, and we think that this would be a very wonderful honor and remembrance as well.
All right, any questions for the director? All right, we'll move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. We have one. Go ahead, state your name.
Aloha, Kalani Kalima. First of all, aloha mai kākou e kauha hui, kulana kauhale o Honolulu, Chair Toba and council members. My name is Kalani Kalima. I'm a president of Naku Aina Waimanalo, vice president of Kahua Foundation, formerly known as Save Our Sherwoods, member of the Hawaiian Civic Club of Waimanalo and of the Waimanalo Hawaiian Homes Association. I'm in support of Resolution 24-184, naming of the new multi-purpose building at our Waimanalo District Park after Hulu Kupuna Grace Adviento. She's a pillar in our community, having had started at the old wooden gym in the old village of Waimanalo and the Waimanalo town. When they tore it down and built the new gym, thanks to the land swap between the city and the state, Malo to state legislator Russell Sakamoto and former Mayor Eileen Anderson. In our community, there's so many kupuna that we're wanting to honor, and we look forward to working with our council member, Kia Aina, and city officials to make these happen, started with Uncle Gabby Painui and the soon-to-be rebuilt pavilion, Uncle Joe Kapule and a baseball field named in his honor, Eric Bunyan and the gym, George Mahoy and the campsite that he lived at and loved, soon to be Waimanalo Beach Park after beloved Manuel Joe Gang Kupahu, and now Auntie Grace Aviento with a new building. All of the above love Waimanalo. They poured their heart into us as Kamali'i, as you guys heard from Thielen. We want all of them to be honored and remembered for their goodwill. Mahalo nui.
Any questions for Mr. Kalima? Councilmember Tupola.
No, not a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for coming. But also, you know, I just came from a city tour that I did in another country, and something that I think we don't do that we should do is not just naming places after people, but telling the story, right? Is there a place in the gym that we can actually write down the story where the kids can learn about it? Because I think, you know, Gabi Pahinui, other places, I think it's good to remember their names, and heaven forbid our kids ever forget the stories that built the foundation that we're on today. You know, I'd be so in favor of having some type of plaque or area where people could read more about her after the gym is renamed, because we need to put the name together with the background of how she became who she was, and honestly, build more role models, right? Give people in the community props for what they did, but also help this next generation to understand what lives they live and how we can live our lives. So thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I respond to that? I totally support that. Not just of the people, but of the aina that we come from. The mo'olelo got to be shared so that our keikis can have a sense of pride of where they come from and a pride of who they come from. They got to understand that they're not standing alone. They're not their own island. That people came before us. They laid the foundation so that we can stand upon them. That's kukulu kumuhana there. That's kukulu pai pai, building that foundation. So, like every community, we just want to honor those that come before us. So mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else in the chamber that would like to testify? Okay, we'll move on to remote testimony. I see Mr. Kane online. Go ahead, Mr. Kane.
Hello, my kako, Chair, mahalo nui to the council members, those in the public. Kimiona Kane, Chair, Waimanalo Neighborhood Board. We stand in support of the resolution to rename and honor the life of Auntie Gracie Advianto. And to Kalani Kalima's point, we absolutely admire and adore the Hulukupuna that have come before us. And so we are here. We submitted written testimony on behalf of the board. We stand by that, and I'm here for any questions if there are any. Mahalo nui, Chair.
Any questions for the testifier? Okay, is there anyone else with us remotely?
No one else, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all right, members, we are in discussion. Okay, I just want to, members, we did receive testimony from 42 individuals in support. So it just shows how the community is in strong support for this. I want to thank Councilmember Kia Aina, who introduced the resolution. She apologized for not being present today, but has advocated on behalf of the community for this effort. Okay, we still in discussion? All right. So members, the chair recommends that resolution 24-184 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, moving on to item number 9, confirming the appointment, resolution 24-157, confirming the appointment of J. Pedro to serve on the Board of Parks and Rec for the City and County of Honolulu. Members, I do have a hand-carried proposed CD1 OCS 2024-017. Where's my... Okay. So the proposed CD1 makes the following amendments. A, in the fourth whereas clause, identifies the appointment letter by its official communications, Mayor Message 95, 2024. In it, be resolved clause corrects the error that refers to the appointment as reappointment, makes miscellaneous technical and non-substantive amendments. Okay. So here from the administration, Director Laura Thielen again.
Thank you, members. On behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation, as you know, we came before you last year due to COVID and the closing of the operations of the park board that is established under the charter of the City and County of Honolulu. All of the board members either termed off or had resigned for personal health reasons. So we reestablished the board and went through appointing 8 of the 9 positions. There was a 9th position where the person still was in holding the seat. And as that person went out, we were looking for somebody who would have an athletic background. We wanted to appoint J. Pedro because of his background with the Honolulu Police Department. It's a bit of a twofer. He's worked not only with the Police Athletic League and ran that, but he also worked with a lot of the juvenile services, juvenile crime prevention programs, juvenile intervention programs. He's done work on the state advisory level, as well as the City and County of Honolulu, and then he's a volunteer coach for the police athletic leagues. So we thought this brought together, a whole lot of not just the athletics, but also just trying to promote and enhance the development of our youth across the islands and steer them to good futures. So Mr. Pedro did join us at our last board meeting. He sat in the audience as a member of the public, but he is eager to get started. I had understood he was going to be here today, and I don't see him. I'm not sure if he's available remotely or if something unexpected came up and he wasn't able to join us. But anyway, we just think he would be a fantastic addition. We've had several conversations with him. He's excited for his time on the board. And just, again, the Police Athletic League has been a fantastic partner for a lot of the evening activities in a lot of our underserved communities where we don't have other types of athletic leagues to help get the youth into constructive group programming in the parks. So we hope for your support.
Any questions for the director? Okay, we will move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, are there anyone remotely that want to testify?
There is no one, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so members, we are in discussion. All right. Okay, the chair recommends that resolution 24-157 be amended to a hand carry CD1 identified as OCS 2024-017. Any discussion? Any 0714? Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? The resolution has been amended to a CD1. The chair then recommends the resolution 24-157 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay. Moving on to item number 10, resolution 24-172, confirming the appointment of Victoria M.H. Takamine to serve on the Commission on Culture and the Arts, the City and County of Honolulu. And here from the administration is Gail Trash, Executive Director.
Good afternoon. Kaili Trask, Executive Director of MOCA. Today I'd like to offer my recommendation of strong support for Vicky Holt Takamini as Commissioner on COCA. My first exposure to Vicky was back in the 80s as a hula dancer at the Merry Monarch. I was dancing with Hala Hula o Puka Ikapuakalani and Ambai Kumuhula Ellen Costello. Vicky was a well-known kumuhula as well as a Merry Monarch judge. I admired her from afar, and honestly, I was somewhat intimidated by this well-respected Hawaiiana expert. It was not until recently that I was able to actually meet and get to know Vicky and learn that this legendary wahine was really just a humble Hawaiian working diligently to make a difference for our community, our culture, and our artists. With my kumu Darcy Moniz, we visited Vicky at the Pa'i Foundation, which is an organization that she founded in order to preserve and perpetuate Native Hawaiian arts and cultural traditions for future generations. She shared with us the story of how she has worked on this dream for over 15 years, traveling to the mainland to secure grants to support her vision for the Pa'i Foundation. Vicky has been someone I know I can turn to for advice and mana'o. This generosity is a part of who she is. When she has resources to help her halau, she chooses to share them with other halau as well, so they too can benefit. This is not something competitors usually do, but Vicky is about doing what's right for the community. Thus, it is not a surprise to me that she has embraced the invitation to be a part of our Culture and Arts Commission. In closing, I strongly support the acceptance of Vicky Holt Takamini as a commissioner on COCA.
Thank you, Director. Any questions for the Director? Okay, we'll now proceed with in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay. Oh, okay, go ahead, Angela.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young on behalf of CARES. So we actually had a resolution which urged collaboration with MOCA this year, legislated by CARES. And the resolution was adopted in the Senate Transportation, Culture, and the Arts Committee to encourage dance, music, performance, and to focus the students' energies on developing and creating and producing quality productions. So it was something that I think resonated with me about that person that's going to be considered. I think that background with Merry Monarch, although I have zero experience in Merry Monarch, that's going to be a really good addition to MOCA. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the testimony. Any questions for the testifier? All right. Yeah. I know Ms. Takamine is on remotely, and I'll give her an opportunity to say a few words. You can unmute Ms. Takamine. Thank you. Thank you for being here on remotely.
Thank you. Aloha, everybody. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to serve the Mayor's Office of Culture and Arts and to work with Ka'ili Trask on this commission. I am honored to be considered. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Takamine? Thank you for coming on, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yes. Mahalo.
Is there anyone else remotely?
No one else, Mr. Chair.
Okay, members, we are in discussion. Okay. The chair recommends the resolution 24-172 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay, members, moving on to item number 11, resolution 24-173, confirming the appointment of Elizabeth Soto to serve on the Commission on the Culture and the Arts for the City and County of Honolulu. And hear from the administration is Ms. Trask again to say a few words.
Good afternoon, Chair Talba and council members. Ka'ili Trask, Executive Director of MOCA. I'd like to offer my recommendation of support for Liz Soto as a commissioner on COCA. Her talents and experience would greatly enhance our commission. The following experience and accomplishments underscore the value she would contribute. She has a PhD in English from University of Hawaii at Manoa, specializing in Pacific Island literature, 20th century and contemporary American poetry, and performance studies. She served as the Director of Literary and Conversations Programs for Hawaii Council for the Humanities. She is a performance poet, and let me see if I can get these right, Visayan, Ilalakan, Hakka, German, English, French, and possibly Spanish descent. She was a longtime mentor with the award-winning youth poetry program, Youth Speaks Hawaii. She won the Ian McMillan Contest for Poetry in 2014 for her poem, American Homelands. She's the co-founder of Pacific Tongues, a nonprofit that cultivates an active artistic ocean community of writers, spoken word performers, leaders, educators, and students of all ages. Pacific Tongues hosts poetry workshops and events for students. She's performed in Hawaii, Aotearoa, Papua New Guinea, and the continental United States. Her Bodies of Stories, a spoken arts theater show directed by Grace Taylor, debuted at the Doris Duke Theater in Honolulu in December 2016. Her book, Translate Sun, Sun, Sum, was selected as a finalist for the 2016 Sawtooth Poetry Prize. In summary, I'd like to submit my strong support for Liz as a COCA commissioner.
Awesome. Thank you, Director. Is Ms. Soto here and would like to say a few words?
Aloha, yes, this is Liz Soto. I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I'm a passionate believer in art, so yeah, I'm very excited about the opportunity. Mahalo.
Is any questions for the testifier? Okay, Councilmember Tupola.
Aloha. I just have a question. Hi. Well, always grateful to see fellow arts lovers. You have a couple in this room right here. But my question was, in your resume, you had like a stint where you were general contractor or president of a company, or it listed that for. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, I saw all the other creative parts, but what was that?
Yeah, so I did general contracting for quite a few years, for about 15 years, and I worked in construction. My family background was construction, and to be perfectly honest, after college, I moved back to Hawaii, and I had a degree in archaeology, and I did not earn that much money doing archaeology, and I needed to raise my family. So I've been a single parent to my child for 25 years. So yeah, I have to admit that it was a very practical choice.
I see. I saw that and I was like, interesting. So much breadth to your background. So
yeah, mahalo.
Yeah, thank you for being willing to serve, and we're excited to work with somebody like you.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Councilmember Say.
Ms. Soto, with your background in the performing arts, what would you like to see within the next 3-4 years? I've, how would you say it? I've seen the talent of our young ones with the different performing arts schools that we have in our public and private high schools. But once high school is over, I don't know where they go. But it's something that the city can offer that will give them the opportunity. Not just film, but more of the excitement like what you have in New York, Broadway, and other. That's what I was trying to figure out. Where can we move in that direction?
I mean, we do have some really wonderful local theaters like Kumukuhua Theater, Manoa Valley Theater. They're doing really beautiful work. But I have to admit, I mean, part of it in terms of like the city and county, right? We have these like great theater spaces, like in Kaimuki. There's one that I walk past actually on a really regular basis. I think to have performances in these public spaces where not just, people, not just in terms of the normal advertising that you would send out, but people would actually see it when they walk by. It's part of their neighborhood. It just becomes part of their community. I think that would be a great way to offer more opportunity for young people as they're coming up. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilmember. I agree. I think we can utilize maybe some of our city parks to do, what they do in New York City, California. Sandbox poetry.
Yeah.
Just amazing way to activate our park. So I agree. All right, members. We'll now proceed to in-person testimony in the council chamber. Okay, Angela, go for it.
Aloha, very supportive of that person that's going to be potentially at the MOCA office. I didn't realize poetry was so important. So yeah, I think that's something that our children can learn so much from. So we have a set list of art forms, which our Senate Resolution 174 urged students to focus on, such as showcasing art through fine arts, performing arts, music, filmmaking, digital arts, wood carving, photography, and modern contemporary art. Poetry, it's the way Poetry Foundation describes it is through imagining the act of narrating life, community, and culture and reflecting on the action of a painting or sculpture. So I think that is just so important for students to learn from, and it can really inspire. That is so inspiring. And so I'm in strong support of that.
Okay, any questions for the testifier? All right, anybody else in the council chamber?
There's no one, Mr. Chair.
Is anyone remotely?
No one.
Okay, awesome. Members, we are in discussion. Okay, the chair recommends that resolution 24-173 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, moving on to item number 12, resolution 24-174, confirming the appointment of Taylor Chang to serve on the Commission of Culture and the Arts for the City and County of Honolulu. Again, Executive Director Trask from the Office of the Mayor and the Office of Culture and the Arts.
Aloha, council members. Ka'ili Trask, Executive Director of MOCA. I'd like to offer my recommendation of support for Taylor Chang as a commissioner on COCA. Our commission would benefit greatly to have Taylor as a contributing commissioner. A few highlights of her background include Director of Public Programs and Community Engagement at Bishop Museum. She was an appointed member of the State Foundation of Culture and the Arts Board of Commissioners in 2022. She previously worked as the Honolulu Museum of Art's director of the Doris Duke Theater and as a film curator. She received the Art House Convergence's Distinguished Service Award in 2019, celebrating her outstanding achievements in mission-driven cinema exhibition. She had 2 films accepted into the Hawaii International Film Festival at 17 years old, received her BA from Yale University and double majored in film studies and theater studies. With her impressive background, we would be lucky to have her join COCA. Thank you for your consideration of Taylor Chang.
Thank you, Director. I see Ms. Chang in the chamber. Would you like to say a few words to the committee?
Aloha. I just want to thank you for considering me for the commission, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. It's an honor to be considered and to serve along with everybody else who was already on the commission. So mahalo nui for your nomination.
Thank you, Ms. Chang. Any questions for the testifier? Councilmember Tupala.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, thank you for being here. Congratulations on all your success and your background and, of course, graduating from Yale. It says here like a little blurb about your participation maybe with FESPAC. Is that correct?
Most recently, yeah. I currently serve as Director of Public Programming at Bishop Museum, and so, we developed a pretty robust program during FESPAC most recently.
Oh, you work at Bishop Museum. I couldn't tell where the employer was. Oh, awesome.
It wasn't in a, so, we were, collaborating with FESPAC in different ways, but, my kuleana was to develop, in-house public programming at the museum. And so, it was a wonderful experience, and we learned a lot.
Oh, good. Many of those people are very dear to me, classmates, friends that work there. So thank you for your work at Bishop Museum and for being willing to serve on this commission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilmember Say.
So, Ms. Chang, will you bring to the commission your expertise, not just in the performing arts, but a discussion we've had the past 3-4 years in the production, direction of film with your background. What I like to hear from commissioners, Mr. Say, you either fish or cut bait. I felt bad for Chris Lee up at the university on his thought about the West Oahu campus. I just want to send a message to the individual legislators across the street. You guys are in or you're out in regards to the film industry, which is part of the performing arts. So if you could just be a strong, vocal advocate in that field with your background, would be very instrumental and very helpful.
That I would be more than happy to, and it's my full intent to bring that perspective to the commission. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, thank you very much for your volunteerism. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Say. Any more questions for the testifier? Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Thank you. Okay. We'll now proceed with in-person testimony in the council chamber. I see Angela.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support. I already testified for the other nominations, so I might as well support that nomination. Just to be supportive in the community, we should support each other. Okay, so Bishop Museum is a Hawaiian culture institution, and they have a focus on Hawaiian displays, and also they have children at their programming because I think they partner with public schools in Hawaii, the Department of Education, to work with marginalized youths and all schools and students to do the programming. So I'm in support of that background. That will be a good addition to MOCA. And also FESPAC and Bishop Museum was fun. The indigenous tribal nations, it was good to really create a diplomatic international relation and to see how similar our cultures were. The indigenous tribal villages, they carved wood like all day.
Okay, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
In support?
In support. So,
awesome.
okay.
Any questions for the testifier? All right, thank you, Angela. Okay, we'll move on to remote testimony.
There is no one, Mr. Chair.
All right, members, we are in discussion. All right. The chair recommends the resolution 24-174 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right. Last item for the day. Confirming the appointment of Joshua Tengen to serve on the commission. This is item number 13, resolution 24-175 to serve on the commission of the culture and the arts for the city and county of Honolulu. Again, from the administration, Executive Director Trask.
Aloha Committee Chair Toba and council members, Ka'ili Trask, Executive Director of MOCA. I'm here today to share my recommendation of support for Josh Tengen as a commissioner on COCA. I've been fortunate enough to get to know Josh as he is on our core Vahipana team, which is working together on the Bloomberg Philanthropies Public Art Challenge grant. I have found Josh to be a thoughtful, knowledgeable, and strong contributor on our team. Please allow me to share a few details about his background. Josh served as the assistant curator of Hawaii Biennial 2019 and returned to Hawaii Contemporary as exhibition manager of Hawaii Triennial in 2022. He worked with local and Native Hawaiian artists at Pu'uhonua Society from 2015 to 2019 to deliver Hawaii's largest annual thematic contemporary art exhibition called Contact. He served as an associate director of Pu'uhonua Society 2021 to 2022. He was the former arts manager at Na Mea Hawaii Native Books. In 2022, he was an independent curator's international curatorial research fellow with Drew Kahuaina Broderick, the multi-site exhibition of Kanaka Oiwi contemporary art, Ai Pohaku, and Stone Eaters. He is an experienced writer for various publications, including Flux Magazine, Art Link Australia, and Becoming Our Future Global Indigenous Curatorial Practices. He earned his Curatorial Studies MA with distinction from Newcastle University in UK and a BA in Fine Art from Westmont College. I strongly recommend Josh Tengen as a commissioner on COCA. And if I could add a few words just in general, we're really excited. We have such a wonderful commission now, but we're really excited about these 4 new commissioners, as well as Jasper Wong, who was accepted a couple months ago. They bring great energy, just innovation, and we're really excited about our new commissioners. So mahalo.
Thank you. I know I see Mr. Tegan over there blushing every time you said his accolades. And I did have a discussion with you. I don't know you have a sore throat, but if you want to say a few words.
Aloha kako to the commission. My name is Josh Tengan, and I'm here for consideration for COCA. I don't have a sore throat. I just kind of lost my voice. So I can talk as long as I can and answer any questions if you'd like, if you can stand hearing my voice.
We get the same kind of voice, so I understand. Members, any questions for Councilmember Say?
Yes, for Ms. Trask, Kaili, will this be the last appointee as far as filling the total number of seats?
We are actually looking for one more for urban design.
Oh, urban design, okay.
Stephen Meckler is currently in that
I
spot.
just wanted to recognize Mr. Tengan. Be careful now, the women are taking over.
Exactly.
Any questions for the nominee? Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you. Aloha, Mr. Tengan. Welcome. My quick question was the Pu'uhonua Society, only because we use that word a lot in White and I, but what exactly does Pu'uhonua Society do that you're involved with?
Pu'uhonua Society is a nonprofit arts organization. The kind of use of Pu'uhonua is to create a sort of safe space for artists and cultural practitioners to kind of come together.
Is it an actual physical place, or do you guys just kind of collaborate and bring people together?
Yeah, it's there's kind of different physical spaces, but it's kind of a roving space. For example, we have one of our programs, Kiana Hala, which is a group of community weavers who meet, various sites around the island, processing, picking, and preparing hala, and then weaving together. So one of the spaces we do meet is in urban Kaka'ako and in a place called Kipuka.
Oh, yes, know where that is. Oh, thank you so much for your work. I do want to talk to you more offline about all of that. So thank you, Chair.
I'd be happy to. Mahalo.
Okay, any more questions for the testifier? All right, we'll move on to in-person testimony in the council chamber. I knew it. Go ahead, Angela.
Aloha. Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support on behalf of CARES. So in support of the nomination, and so local contemporary art is a really good focus for museums, and that nominee the Honolulu-based contemporary art curator. I think it's going to be really valuable to MoCA. And also, he curated Acts of Faith. So that's super amazing. And to take community initiative and events and to curate meaningful educational displays can be good lessons that we learn in our community about life and culture through art. And CARES does have an art class with our students from Department of Education schools. So art is super important to bring life to the community. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? All right, we'll move on to remote testimony.
There is no one, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Members, we are in discussion. Okay, the chair recommends that resolution 24-175 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, any objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Mahalo everyone for attending and participating in today's meeting. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned.